Absolutely.
I mean,
They're looking for reasons to add it to the algorithm censorship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I've done 4.5 years of university. I've done 3 stints of 1.5 years each time, so 3 semesters each time, before I get so fed up of paying thousands of dollars for indoctrination when I've been learning so much more for free off of declassified physics professors teaching their thing, like their sciences, such as Dan Winters, such as Keshe, such as Nassim Haramein, such as thousands of them, literally, right? Ever since 2012, essentially, the algorithms haven't really blocked it, and they've also let them teach their classes to whoever is willing to watch and join their live streams. And been doing about a weekly live stream with Alien Scientist and his channel there, and working on putting together a full essential presentation of one of all of my pictures and experiments of the electrolysis, and presents like a coherent thesis that explains the process connecting between the ancient alchemists' work and like coatings and stuff like that, and how it correlates and show the evidence tying it into the exact electrolysis experiments that I'm doing and the results of the different transmutational states. And
yeah, I saw the end of that. That was a long stream, 5 hours or something, so I watched a little bit of it. So you're going to get the monoatomics tested, so, and then hopefully the next couple of chats will do a running system, hey, and show people how they can set that up at home. Is that what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that's definitely 100% the best course of action.
Awesome.
And so I'll show you here what I'm working on. Setting up. I got another screen and computer to add, as well as I have from my print shop to desktop computers with a couple of screens that have editing software and stuff like that, so that I will be able to actually do some really good video editing and really get into it and start producing some serious educational content.
Awesome.
So what I'm also going to start setting up outside is because now this one I've got the copper, the zinc, and silver on both sides. So I'm also going to set up a big tub like I had going in my old lab out in the work tent here, and of the just silver on silver production, and document it along with the moon and keep it plugged in continuously for several months, and record the waning and the waxing of the production of the monoatomic silver in regard to the cycle of the moon. So record more of the evidence of that. And that I can show right now a few pictures, share it with you.
Yep, for sure.
What I'm talking about here of the different stages.
Yeah, that video about the archers was interesting, wasn't it?
Sorry, say that again?
The video about the archers.
The video of the archers?
Did you watch that when she was showing that the
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've always wondered and seen that connection of those 3 doors, the 3 pillars in all of the ancient architecture everywhere around the world. But I was like, what what is that purpose? And that it's the solstices and the equinox, like just genius connection right there.
Genius. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like,
it does, hidden in plain sight.
The sun's literally got to move. Like, it's just, and then on top with the four horses and the goddess, you know, representing the sun and the four positions of the sun.
Exactly, right? Like, just she nails it.
She's a good researcher. She's only got about 5 videos out, but they're all worth watching, because she talks about the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, and how we're now in the age of Aquarius, and the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer are actually, they should have been 4,000 years ago. We shouldn't have those tropics anymore. We should be on Taurus and something else, I think.
Right, yes. I remember John Levy bringing that up in one of his videos. I think he was referencing her work there. That is a huge point and question that really needs to be answered, right?
I mean, you can't tell me that people could go and map the world and do all this stuff so accurately, but they didn't know, you know, the right, the right tropics or what age they were in, because it's all to do with the stars, which are how they were navigating. So, I mean, are all the maps from 4,000 years? Have they, like, literally, have we lost all the maps, so, you know, had them taken away for the last 4,000 years? I mean, God. It's just another bloody rabbit hole I don't need. But it's just
so many questions that need to be answered.
They just are. They're just everywhere.
Can you see this?
I can.
So this is when it's first starting out, and it's making that much silver, and that's at about a half a moon, when the moon's half full.
Yep. And so the voltage is a constant, obviously?
It's a constant. It's just a former BlackBerry phone charger, like micro USB charger.
Right. So pretty much 12 volts, yeah?
Yeah. And then this is as it continued to grow. As the days went on.
And so does that just sort of stay there around it like a cloud? I mean, that's not kind of moving. That's like a...
It does move, and it does settle on the bottom, and you're able to collect it.
But it's very slow moving, is it?
It depends. We'll do a couple of live ones on the next one.
All right. Like, because I mean, where are we looking now? Because the last one was when the moon was waning, was it?
It was growing. And then, sorry, here it is when it's completely like waxed, where you can't even see the moon. That's the exact same thing. And look at almost no production at all.
Wow.
And so here, this is in between, as now you see that it's sealing off and starting to shrink.
So that's kind of just after a full moon, yeah?
Yeah. And then this one was when there was a super moon randomly.
Holy dooly.
And right, like...
Wow.
And then...
Wow, okay. Oh my God. Poor brain. So, I mean, all of this stargazing kind of stuff, I mean, could actually be more related to alchemy than to, you know, other stuff that they sort of tell us about, you know, all this astrology and that. It could actually have started off as alchemy and studying like the body so that we could, use the forces or whatever it is down here on and to recreate things.
And this one here is when the cathode side, or sorry, the anode side, or no, anode side, the copper ate away, so the silver fell in, and it ended, and you can see it turning yellow. And when something is live with current in it, and then one half of it is cut, it instantly everything turns yellow. And this is what the alchemists called the yellow sulfur state. And they're like, when it was, the writing is like, when the metal is alive but dies, it turns to sulfur. And people are like, what the hell does this mean? Well, this is what it means. And I've got many more pictures of the sulfurous state where such things like that happen.
So, and it's literally like when you separate it from the source of power, you know, the current, it sort of changes.
Exactly.
Into almost the opposite, and it's something that's bad for you.
You got it, right? Exactly.
Wow. And so, do you think that's got any kind of a link with Sodom and Gomorrah and all these kind of stories?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a higher technology of some sort. Like they understand. The language of alchemy is like how the universe works, and the language of the gods or the demigods, and the ancients understood it on a whole other level than we did. So the current picture right here, this is where everything turns into this yellow sulfurous state, and you can see that the copper got corroded there, ate through, and the silver fell in. So the current on one end of it got cut off, and it turns into this yellow sulfur state.
Because it left, it lost the current, yep.
And this is something that, where does all this sulfur compound instantly come from? It's a transmutation. So if this does turn out to be sulfur, that is proof of cold fusion and actual alchemy transmutation and state electrolysis process.
Yeah. So is sulfur a naturally occurring substance?
Yeah, but it's like, where does all the water and all the monoatomic particles just spontaneously turn from white and they're blue oxidized into yellow? Like you get yellow sulfur compound. So where does the scientists like, oh, it's just a chemical reaction, but it's like, no, where do all of those molecules of sulfur come from?
So science can't explain sort of where sulfur comes from or what it really is. They just sort of say it's a mineral, it's a whatever.
Exactly. And just like when you're burning any element or like petrochemical or whatnot, it's like everything, or wood or anything, they're always left with carbon, just carbon. But it's like you're burning elements. How do elements then turn into carbon? And they're like, oh, well, it comes from the air and this and that. But it's like, you're turning all of that matter spontaneously into carbon, one element to another. Like, it's the same thing. And it's in this fire, in this plasma state, the fifth plasma fire, the fourth state of matter, or the fourth alchemical element. And it's a state of element. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Earth, water, wind, fire. It's the four states of matter. It's a higher understanding of physics. And we're just beginning to comprehend this fourth state, this plasma state. And that they understood it so much more.
Well, it seems that when you sort of understand this, then you can manipulate, is that the right word, nature and the things around you, and kind of more start working with them, I guess.
But energy of nature, right? It's language, the universal language, the essential God code, if you want to say it that way. But it's the mathematics, the structure, the geometry, the symmetry, the flow of energy, and the flow of how the universe and nature actually unfolds, and how life constructs and deconstructs. And if you flow with the force of something, opposed to like the flow of a river, as opposed to trying to fight the current and blow up the current, you're going to get a lot better results. And it's a lot easier to tap that energy and use that energy when you're flowing with the flow of the universe, not trying to dismantle it.
Kill everything.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, we've definitely been led down the wrong path, that's for sure. So with the moon and the
And right,
moon,
so the moon is silver in alchemy. And it's
the-
like, I want to repeat these tests and prove that the actual production of this element that in alchemy is tied to the cycle of the heavenly body that the alchemists have aligned with it. And then it would, and that's some of the work I'm going to be doing with Paul Cook, is he's discovered all the alchemy symbols on the different cathedral domes and throughout the cathedrals. And I'm theorizing, suspecting that the domes are then made of those same metal elements as the symbols on them, and then they're in relation to the resonance and harnessing the energy of those heavenly bodies in their positions. And I'm guessing it also has something to do with the organ as well, as the frequency and those energies.
For the frequency, yeah. I mean, well, it's just, it's like you were saying about movies and how they use sound and frequency to, you know, create different emotions. It's the same with an organ, right?
Oh, big time.
Just
those
trigger out organs.
healing instruments and all sorts of different.
So do you think with the moon, I don't know what your thoughts and beliefs on the moon are. Have you ever seen those photos of where you can see stars through the moon?
Kind of, yes. And I wondered about that. The thing is I do have a high-powered telescope that I built with my dad as a child, and I have.
You built it? Oh my god!
I've been taking many pictures and like looking at it myself for many moons.
Because Crow 777's got some good stuff on there. He shows the lunar wave as well.
That is fascinating as all hell. Like, I really do.
So just to put it out there, do you think it's possible? Like, because you've got, you know, you've been doing these experiments where you're getting, you know, a bigger growth, shall we say, on the full moon, right? And then it's dipping away to nothing.
And then
on the closed moon. So when we look up in the sky and we don't see a moon, then on the ground there's no moon either. Like,
right.
Do you think that is the moon a cathode? Is it actually growing and shrinking?
Is it like a 1D portal that like opens up behind it? Like,
Is it,
who the hell knows?
Yeah, like growing and shrinking, just like that cathode.
Right, and the fact that like it's probably hollow from everything that all the tests that have been done.
Ringing like a bell, yeah.
Yeah. Another huge thing about these monoatomics and plasma metal particles is that they are self-arranging, and they always turn into this spiral hurricane centralized shrinking point of neg entropy, as Dan Winters called it.
Fibonacci.
And the picture does not do it justice, because these particles are actually 2 layers down on the water. Like, there's Eric Pollard, he's done the research with water of the like exclusion zone and how the top couple millimeters turn into negative ionized water and the rest is particle or positive water throughout it. And there's no particles in the top couple millimeters. So there's that level. And then there's about another inch below of what's like an electromagnetic layer in it before this layer of the monatomic particles are spiraling. And then this layer itself is about 1 inch to 2 inches thick. and then there's 3 more layers of water that are about 1 inch to 2 inches thick below it that are also these layers where the particles, like somewhat on one layer, they'll spin clockwise, on the other layer, they'll spin counterclockwise simultaneously.
So it's charging the water somehow on but it's by layers, it's somehow charging.
Yeah, it's
water.
their electromagnetic layers of water. And that's the thing I've got so many pictures of on different USB cards that I'm going to be putting out here pretty quickly.
Does that mean there's got to be a differential between each layer?
Exactly. Huge differentials. And there's a scientist, like I think he's from MIT, he's now in Toronto, but he has the patent for metal liquid batteries, which are supposed to be the future of battery technology. And he makes the particles through electrolysis. That is exactly what these are. And Keshe has always called this plasma batteries. And I've advanced what I believe to have advanced the work of Eric Pollard in identifying several layers in the water as you go down of these that specifically have particles going one way, another way, and that I've pulled currents out of continuously. I've got one video up there on my channel that shows me measuring a voltage continuously out of one of the jars, just putting 2 coils, like a simple 9-ring copper coil on both the anode and cathode side of a voltmeter and pulling out current of it by having the difference between the two. And depending on what particles, like matter, you have in the different layers as well, it's a technology of reusable energy of batteries that don't run out. But think of it that as soon as this comes out, anybody can make it in their own home for dollars, and you're putting all the major companies out of business, right?
Good.
So
let's do it.
They don't want that information coming out, but it slowly but surely is. And Keshe's been doing it for putting the information out for 15 years now, or trying to for 15 years, but successfully for 9 since 2012 when they've all been allowed to, or the algorithms switched or something. But the main thing is that also John Hutchinson, if you look up on his actual YouTube channel, he's got videos from like 10 years ago of how to make never-ending crystal batteries out of capacitors.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't checked him out for years. Is he still making stuff?
So I had heard that he had died, but apparently he's still alive.
Yeah.
And Melanie with Unguru, who I'm about to do the paid content with Michelle Gibson, she's apparently in contact with him and arranging for me and John to actually do some combined work in research and experiments, which if that will truly be next level, because
oh my god, yeah,
50 generation and then the electrolysis alchemy that I'm doing, we literally combined would create that Star Trek freaking microwave where you plug it in and whatever atomic matter you want comes out. Like that's the potential of his frequency generation transmutation with my electrolysis metal transmutation process, right?
He's doing crazy stuff. That's
I guess he just about 10 years ago he did like a 5 or 10 year project on recreating the Ark of the Covenant. And according to Melanie, the last 5 years he's been working on recreating, I'm guessing, some military branch or something, or science foundation, but recreating the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh, what?
And yeah, she's saying
Michelle might want to be in on that conversation.
July or August, I'm supposed to be at least doing a interview with John Hutchinson on Unguru together. So yeah, that would be a dream come true right there.
Yeah.
And if
The
you
Philadelphia experiment, I mean, that's time travel pretty much that we're talking about.
time and dimensional travel, right? That's
Dimensional.
multiverse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's also clearly, well, if the stories we hear are true, you know, there were people that were embedded into the metal ship and stuff. So it's like it reduces you to, you know, it's like the fly, how you get reduced to atoms and then get put back together.
A wormhole of all of your matter being taken down and then like
put back together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Don't want to fly in the room.
Anytime I would dump new water into one of these Tupperwares or batteries or whatnot to fill it up from evaporation and what was used in electrolysis, it would lift the bottom layer of the monoatomics up, and it'd stop on the second from the top, and then it would do this self-organization and then spiral down through each layer, and like, yeah, do crazy stuff that it really should, right? That it redefines electromagnetics in water and buoyancy and really essentially even our understanding of what gravity should be.
It'll take me a while to work out everything that relates to, because that's just that's a lot of tech there with a lot of potential, you know, for nothing that anyone can make in their bathroom. Exactly,
right? And it's like, this is all essentially could be the Baghdad battery that everybody had over thousands of years ago that had forever, and like the witches and their cauldrons, and like you have your iron and your copper, and then you're putting in toenails, some hair, like DNA of the certain things. Like it's proving that technology of the ancients of what alchemy is, and shamanism and paganism and everything, the occult and the esoteric is so much more advanced, but simplistic at the same time. And it's been completely hidden up and literally burnt at the stake to annihilate and not house anyone, to completely erase the history and knowledge of everything. Like,
yeah, everything of, you know, that would make our lives a lot easier and happier. Do you think, just before we go on, that the anode and cathode, could they be Boaz and Joachim?
Say that again.
The anode and cathode, you know, the twin pillars of masonry, Boaz and Joachim.
Oh, absolutely, they are 100%.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you again, and we'll talk soon.
For sure, brother. Have a good one.
Have a nice day. See ya.